Hi everyone, this is Sean. Welcome back to my channel. Please press the like button, subscribe, share, comment. I am always looking forward to the dialogue. I read all of your comments. I also appreciate those of you who comment to other people. Sometimes I just can't get to the comments fast enough. I also have a full-time job, and when I'm at my full-time job, I can't respond to comments. So I depend on a lot of you for responding to other people. So I really appreciate everybody. For today's video, I want to thank David from the Security Guard Command channel for providing me this valuable intelligence. Make sure you guys give David a follow. His YouTube channel is Security Guard Command. If you have trouble finding his channel, just look in the comment section below. He'll usually say hi, bye, or he'll provide some type of valuable information. So make sure you guys give him a follow. Unfortunately, the Redditor removed the post, and the reason why he removed the post was because other Redditors recommended that he remove it because he was basically incriminating himself. So we're going to talk about that. I did read the original post before it was removed, and what I did is I took some notes and I posted my notes right here. So this is not part of the Reddit post, this is just my notes. And guys, also, if I cough, sneeze, sniffle, please forgive me. I probably had the bug about 8 weeks ago, and every single day I just can't stop sneezing, coughing, or sniffling. So please excuse me if that happens through this video. What we know so far is that this Redditor is a licensed private security guard in the state of California. We also know that this Redditor does not have a pepper spray permit. And we do know that the transient, which is basically your fancy name for somebody that's homeless, took a swing at him. It looked like this transient tried to punch him. Looks like our security officer pepper sprayed the transient, and it was effective. The transient needed medical attention. Excuse me. So let's talk about what the law requires in California. And those of you who've been following me for a while, you guys already know I'm not an attorney. This is not legal or professional advice. This is just my personal opinion. I'm a full-time police officer. I've been a BSIS, a Bureau and Security Investigative Services firearm instructor since 2010. I provided a lot of guard car training. I provided a lot of pepper spray training to private security professionals in the state of California. I've also testified as an expert witness at the end of March in front of the Office of Administrative Hearings. I was qualified by the judge to provide expert testimony. This wasn't security guard standards. This was private investigation standards. However, I do know what the standards that need to be met in a court of law are. Again, I'm not an attorney. I'm just providing you my personal opinion. Guys and gals, I have been to administrative court. I've been to BSIS court where they conduct the hearings. In California, if you want to carry one drop of pepper spray, just one drop, you need pepper spray training or tear gas training. If you complete tear gas training, that qualifies for pepper spray training. Notice I say here permit. You need pepper spray permit. I need to backtrack on that. We're going to call it training because there's no permit. There's no license for pepper spray. But the law requires you to complete pepper spray training. If you want to carry pepper spray or tear gas as a licensed private security officer, the Business and Professions Code section in California is going to be 7583.36. Once again, 7583.36. That is the Business and Professions Code authority that requires private security officers in California that want to carry pepper spray or other tear gas to complete a tear gas training or pepper spray training. Excuse me. Now what we are going to do is go through all the comments. And we'll talk about excuse me, guys. We'll talk about which comments make sense, which ones should we not disregard. So dude's wifey says, read your handbook. Ours has a section that specifies unarmed guards are not allowed certain things while in uniform. Pepper spray is listed as one of those items. Dude's wifey has a very good point. Read your handbook. Many times your policy will tell you more or less what the state law is. Not all the time, but many times. And that's because policies are supposed to be reviewed by licensed attorneys. They may not be reviewed all the time, but I believe that they should be, or some type of other qualified professional. For this security officer's company, there should be a policy that states that you shall not carry pepper spray on you without the proper training. And guys, I just forgot to mention that this security officer was arrested. He didn't say what he's arrested for, but reading through the content, it looks like he was arrested for using pepper spray without the proper training. That's what it looks like. It could be that, or it could be assault. It could be battery as well. We just don't know. But I believe that the reason why law enforcement decided to choose their course of action, it could have been because he didn't have the pepper spray permit. And I'm going to correct myself again. He didn't have the pepper spray training. Remember, you don't need a permit, you don't need a license, you need the training. In California, you need a baton permit to carry a baton. It's an actual license. If you want to carry a firearm, then you need a firearm permit. Those two weapon categories that I just disclosed require a permit. With chemical agents, there is no chemical agent permit. I'm going to reiterate that. You just need to provide certificate of training. Okay, so El Spicy Mikagis says this. In California, to carry pepper spray while on duty, you need to have the chemical agent cert, which can be provided by the PPA holder of your company or guard training facility. This person knows, they know what they're talking about. You also made some sort of statement to the police, and that gave them the probable cause to arrest you. So yes, you should get a lawyer. Unfortunately for you, you weren't authorized to carry pepper spray, so your employer will likely not pay for it. It's unfortunately your word against homeless guys and the police officer's word, which will include your statement where you admitted to spraying him. Assuming you don't have or were wearing a body camera showing what you believe to be an imminent assault that you had to defend yourself from, ? Once again, this redditor, this person knows what they're talking about. Okay, let's dissect this statement here. So he recommends that our redditor get an attorney. Yes. Do not get legal advice from Reddit. There's your so-called street lawyers, but nobody on here, including myself, is usually not a lawyer. It says here, unfortunately for you, you weren't authorized to carry pepper spray, so your employer will likely not pay for it. And that's so true. If this was some type of self-defense incident, and it looks like it was, but it looks like this redditor did not articulate his defensive strategy. But if this is a self-defense measure during the course of employment, okay, as long as it's within the course of your employment, if your employer has insurance, that insurance carrier should cover you if there's battery or assault coverage. Not every employer has assault or battery coverage, but if they do, then they should provide you with a lawyer. But see, this is the problem, is he's carrying pepper spray when he's not able to do that. Employer's argument is going to say, hey, this was beyond the scope of your duties because as one of our employees, you're required to follow company policy. Now, the question is this: did the employer know, or should they have known, that this security guard was carrying pepper spray? Now, the answer is yes. Then our security guard would have a good argument and argue, hey, this is within the scope of my employment, therefore my employer should cover my defense. Here it says, it's unfortunately your word against homeless guys and the police officer's word, which will include your statement where you admitted to spraying him. Remember, you do have the right to remain silent, police officers do not have to give you your rights to remain silent unless you are in custody and they are interrogating you. Both elements have to be present. Just because police talk to you, that doesn't mean that they have to give you your rights. You have to be in a custodial-like environment, and then they have to interrogate you or interview. So, for example, maybe you're in the back of a patrol car as a security officer. You're sitting in the back, and you're not free to leave, and then they start asking you questions. Under Miranda, the police would need to read you your rights if they want to admit your statement into evidence. Here it says here, assuming you have or wearing a body camera showing what you believe to be imminent assault that you had to defend yourself from, I think a body camera would help, because unfortunately it is the homeless person's word and the police officer's word against your word. However, if you're able to articulate your defensive strategy well at the scene under pressure, then the police should not be arresting you. Next comment. This is King Madeira. No, we don't have body cams. If I go and plead my case of self-defense, would that hold up? I'm sorry, guys. I just can't get rid of this cough. Okay. So King Madeira is. It looks like it's his redditor that's seeking advice. This person's asking a legal question. I don't believe that this is the forum for it. He's asking if his case of self-defense is going to hold up. This is a question that you want to ask an attorney, not others on Reddit. Or I don't know. I have not interviewed this Redditor. I don't know the whole story. This is usually a jury question, but unfortunately, when I say the word jury or jury question as a phrase, that means that you're arrested and you're going to court. This is security guard command right here. This is actually his Reddit response. Aside from the police and court, be sure to file a use of force report with BSIS. That's solid. That's good advice. The only problem now is you probably want to include a written response after consulting with an attorney, because this use of force report can be used against you in a court of law. It can. Guys and gals, if you're in California, if you use force against somebody, you have to report it. If you don't report it, it's a huge fine. You could end up losing your license as a private security officer. David, thank you for telling this. I would speak with a lawyer. A lot of what happens to you will be determined by how you articulate your use of force in a self-defense manner. There's a YouTube channel called Security Investigations Leadership Channel. Thank you, David. Thank you so much. That's this channel. And he provides some really good info on this. I'll see if I can find his video that fits your situation. And Broad Society in 9785 said this. Hey, or he said the keyword articulate. So to a Redditor who's listening, you have to be able to articulate why you did, or what you did and why. I made a video on how to articulate your responses during a self-defense encounter, and I'll leave a link in the description box below. And I don't believe that this Redditor was any of our YouTube subscribers, because if this person was a YouTube subscriber and watched all of our videos and read all of our comments that were made in response to our videos, I think that he would have been in a better predicament, or she, to articulate his or her response. If you articulate a good self-defense strategy, or you articulate why you did what you did and why, in many circumstances, in most circumstances, the police will not arrest you. So he says this, what do you mean? I don't know how to articulate self-defense. I mean, everything happens so fast, but surely I really appreciate the help. And this is what happened is just from reading this comment, our redditor did not know how to articulate self-defense, and because of that, unfortunately, he was arrested. I honestly believe in my heart that the redditor here was in the right, but he didn't articulate his actions well enough. He did not convince the officers. So again, please watch my video. I'll leave the link in the description box below. Zombies are chasing him. My advice is to move out of California. Not everybody has the luxury of leaving California. I am anchored in California. I know a lot of you are also anchored in California. I don't love this state anymore. The only reason why I'm here is because I'm anchored here because of my career. I can't just switch over to another job that's in the same category. I would have to start all over from rock bottom from scratch. Expert Passenger 940 says, you need to first delete this post because this is a public forum and anything here can be used against you. That's true. Consult with an attorney. Google Shall's Law Group. They are excellent California-based law firm. Number 2, do not give any statements to the police. And then here, you need your pepper spray permit from a certified security trainer to carry pepper spray as a security guard in California. So remember, it's pepper spray training. This person, again, this is good advice. Expert Passenger 940, thank you for providing some good advice here. Number 2, it just depends on the circumstances. The problem is if you don't give a statement to the police, then the only statement that there really is that from the transient. So it's not really your word against that person's word. It's just that person's word. I do make a video. I've made several videos on giving statements to the police. You have to be really short and articulate. Again, I'll provide the video in the link in the description box below. I know I made other videos. I just can't find them right now, but I do elaborate on this. Do not give any statements to the police. The Soup Whisperer says this, may want to not say anything on here, especially if you're going to court. Would it be hard for a paralegal to find your Reddit username and this right here and use it against you? Yes. You can get a private investigator, paralegal that might be able to find this Reddit post. Are they going to do this based on a simple assault like this? I just don't think so. But there's always that possibility. I don't have a Reddit account, guys. If there's a way how to link your legal name to your screen name, let me know. Let me know. It looks like that the district attorney's office would need a court order served on Reddit, and Reddit would need to disclose the IP address and any user information to the district attorney's office. I don't believe that they're, guys. I've interacted with my local district attorney's office for the last almost 20 years, and they have never had to do anything like this. Not saying that's never going to happen, but it's very unlikely. So our Redditor says this, even if it was self-defense. Yes, even if it was self-defense. Somebody here said, Orwa said, it sucks that you got arrested by defending yourself, but it sounds like you might want to contact an attorney. Yes, this is about the third person that said that. Sargon91 says, yeah, you needed a license to carry that explicit, but get a lawyer and fight it. If there has been a lot of documented cases of homeless aggression in your area, I bring it up to the court. Yes. Now, don't call them homeless, okay? Transients. Or call them aggressive individuals. And when I say them, I don't want to categorize anybody. But when you're out there defending yourself in court, you got to say what you got to say. But let's use different terminology. Transient is a more proper terminology. Aggressive transients, in fact. But yes, hey, I have a lot of cases of them being aggressive and then be able to articulate that. But remember, you are going to have to articulate your particular case. Why did you use pepper spray on that particular individual? And it looks like this would be something that's justified because, hey, this person took a swing at me. Okay. It says this: pray that they may go easy on you. Was your supervisor aware that you had it? Good question. Did they authorize it? Good question. Does your site allow it? These are all awesome questions by Sarga 91. Because if the answer is yes, well, you can probably get them to indemnify you. That means that you're able to get them to pay for a legal defense. Because if the answer is yes to this, well, I believe that your actions were within the scope of your employment. Also, stand your ground about the self-defense thing. Also, does the guy have a history with your company? Good. This is good. One specifically about violence. Yes, if this guy has a history of violence, that would show that this person has a propensity of violence, and it may not just be one swing at you during the heat of the moment. Maybe he was going for multiple swings. Do you know if any of your co-workers has had incidents with the homeless in particular? Good question. You talk with your company, but I'd advise to not rely too much on them. I don't think they're competent anyways. For a redditor, they're competent if they told you not to carry pepper spray without a license. They're competent if they showed up on post and you didn't have pepper spray on them, but maybe put it on later. Okay, maybe you were hiding it from them. I don't know. Maybe they seen you. If your company has never seen you with your duty belt arrangement, then I don't believe that company is competent, by the way. Okay. Best of luck, my friend. We got to stand together, and I highly agree. As a security community, we need to all stand together. SEO in Rhode Island, same thing. Here we are not allowed to carry if unarmed. However, I have it only as a deterrent. And my boss knows as well. He said as long as I don't use it on site, I can carry it because it acts as a deterrent if they see it on my belt. Thankfully, I've never had to use it due to my de-escalation training. This is HMLX McNeely. Yes, pepper spray can be a deterrent, but I wouldn't just carry that on your belt because it's a deterrent. You might have to actually use it one day. Okay, it's just like a firearm. You're not carrying it only because it's a deterrent. What's going to happen is you're going to end up using pepper spray, baton, a firearm, and you're going to regret it because you weren't ready for that time of day. You weren't ready to use it. You can have all the de-escalation training in the world. It's up to the aggressive person to de-escalate. You, as a private security officer, you don't de-escalate. You try to de-escalate the situation, but it's up to the aggressive person to actually de-escalate. For this person, it's just a matter of time until he's going to get into a physical altercation, and I pray he doesn't. But you just start counting the years, and there's going to be that one time. Scary albino. In California, you can't carry anything more dangerous than a poodle noodle without a permit. Plead guilty and move out of that asshole. Most states don't even recognize these types of convictions from California. He's facing a conviction of assault. He might be facing a conviction of assault with pepper spray, which is an individual offense. He might be facing a conviction for being in possession of pepper spray without the proper license. Without the proper training. This advice makes me laugh, but do not plead guilty without consulting an attorney. Yes, states are going to recognize this type of conviction from California. They are, because when a CORI criminal offender record information printout gets printed out, or an investigator from another law enforcement agency in another state looks at your criminal history, or anytime a licensing body looks at criminal history, it's going to say assault. It's going to say battery. It's not going to have the facts on it. There's about 1 or 2 lines. Kling Madera, this is our Redditor. He says, plead guilty for self-defense. Yeah, he's asking, do I plead guilty for self-defense? Officer Panda 159 says, pepper spray you bought off Amazon. You're effed LMAO. That's not too cool, Officer Panda 159. This guy is in desperate need of some advice. I know that you're trying to throw some humor into this dark situation, but this Redditor needs some advice. So guys, that's really all I have. David, if you're watching this video to this point in time, I should have mentioned earlier, would you please send this video maybe through a direct message to our Redditor here that really needs some help. Guys, please learn how to articulate self-defense. Please get training, get the proper permits out there, because if you end up using a weapon without the proper permits, you're already on the offense. To a law enforcement officer, you are not establishing yourself as somebody who works in the ballpark of legitimacy. You're simply not. I know it's so minor not having the proper training without a permit, but when you make that conscious decision to work without a permit, there's so much baggage that just comes with it, and you're really on the offense when you have to explain your actions. It's just like the firearm. If you have to use a firearm and you don't have the proper permit, you're fighting an upward battle with the police already. So please learn how to articulate. In other videos that I made, I've talked about taking one step backwards. When you take one step backwards, you're actually opening yourself up to more balance, and you're positioning yourself into more of a fighting stance than not. But what you are able to do when you take that one tactical step back is explain to the law enforcement officer who's investigating your case, I was in such fear for my life that I even took one step back, that I even took 2 steps back. That's how scared I was. And the reason why I pepper sprayed this person is I thought that he was going to punch me. And at that time, this was the only reasonable way on how to stop him from doing that. Again, reiterate that 1 step backwards, that 2 step backwards. Obviously, if you're going to take 1 step backwards or 2 step backwards, and those steps are going to put you in a position of peril or other types of a more dangerous situation, then obviously don't do that. Okay. Let me know what you guys think about this Reddit post. Do you have any tips for this Redditor? We're all looking forward to the dialogue. You guys all take care and please be safe out there.